Welcome everyone, this is Honest Restart, and this time we're talking about the possibility of a 2D Metroid announcement coming fairly soon. Now when I say fairly soon, I don't mean this week or next week, okay? But I mean maybe within the next 1 to 3 months, maybe at the Game Awards, maybe in an earlier Nintendo Direct. That's what we're talking about today. Now before we jump into things, let me quickly talk about my social media. There is a Twitter page, a Discord community, a Patron page, and a Twitch channel. If you are interested in any of that, check it all out. It's linked in the description below. And of course, if you like what you're seeing here, subscribe. But anyway, the reason why I decided to make this video now was because, well, one, I wanted to talk about it during the podcast, but there was a whole bunch of technical issues, so we had to delay that for a day. So that's still happening, by the way. Rob will be joining me, Rule of Two Reveal. I'll link his channel in the description below. We're going to be talking about that during the podcast, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully you get all the technical issues resolved. But there was also a Metroid rumor, and I wanted to talk about it during the podcast, like I said, but I want to talk about it now, and it's sort of making me think that, yeah, probably a 2D Metroid announcement is coming really soon. So, I'll talk about the rumor now. So basically, this rumor is coming from Zippo on Reset Era. I don't want to place too much stock in a single rumor, but Zippo has been talking about this for a long time already. Zippo has said a lot of things that have been in conjunction with Paper Mario, for example, and Paper Mario has proven itself to be real. So I do think that this 2D Metroid is also likely real. But anyways, this is what he's been saying. Mercury Steam's new Metroid should be, or is close to completion. No idea when it's being announced, but the Game Awards show maybe? And also in response to when it could maybe come out, in his opinion, he said maybe Q2, Q3, hard to say with Nintendo. So again, this is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt, do not believe it 100%. As I said earlier, there have been rumors about 2D Metroid going on for a while, but these 2D Metroid rumors aren't, I think, garbage rumors, because these rumors came alongside Paper Mario rumors, and these Paper Mario rumors that have proven to be real also came alongside rumors for Pikmin 3 Deluxe and 3D All-Stars, and a lot of people were doubting all of those things were real, but they all have proven to be true. The point I'm making here is that the sources that these rumors came from have been right about most things. The Metroid thing hasn't proven to be real yet, and just because it hasn't been proven to be real doesn't mean it's fake, it just means it hasn't been announced yet. And as I've talked about on the channel before, I do think there's a really good chance that Mercury Steam is developing another Metroid game. So consider these things. Mercury Steam hasn't come out with anything major since 2017, when they finished Metroid Samus Returns, and if you go back to 2017, there were a few interviews talking about their interest in making another Metroid game, and it seems like that's the direction they were headed. Nintendo seemed pleased with what Mercury Steam did with Samus Returns, and actually, their original pitch was for something related to Fusion, like a Fusion remake, and Nintendo suggested they do a Metroid 2 instead. But now that Mercury Steam has proven themselves with Samus Returns, perhaps Nintendo has allowed them to do something a little bit bigger. Maybe the Fusion remake they wanted, maybe something even beyond that, perhaps Metroid 5. So given that it's 2020 already, it's been about 3 years, I think that would have been enough time to have made a 2D Metroid game. But that's the thing. We've had all these rumors, they haven't proven to be real yet, so some people are kind of doubting it. But one thing I think some people are sort of losing sight of is that this has not been a normal year. This has been a pandemic year where there have been a lot of delays and a lot of announcements that perhaps haven't happened. Perhaps the 2D Metroid that has been rumored would have been announced already under normal circumstances. Maybe that Paper Mario Origami trailer with the Samus helmet at the end was meant to tease 2D Metroid, and initially the plan was for that to be announced around the same time as Paper Mario, but it didn't happen. A first half of 2021 announcement and maybe even release, I don't think is far-fetched. If the game was initially intended to come out sometime now, and it was delayed into early 2021, that makes a lot of sense because of the pandemic. I think it kind of all adds up. And when you take it into consideration that next year is Metroid's 35th anniversary, next August, and that Prime 4, I would say, is likely a 2022 release, I do feel like perhaps we're seeing a situation where Nintendo's going to have some Metroid games coming out throughout 2021 to start talking about the Metroid series, creating an awareness for the Metroid series, so when Prime 4 is ready in 2022, it really hits hard and just hits the ground running, and it sells incredibly well. I've talked about already on the channel, but my prediction is that this 2D Metroid comes out in the first half of 2021, and then for the 35th anniversary, we see Prime Trilogy HD, and then in 2022, it's the Metroid Prime 4 show. That's what I'm thinking is in the cards here. That's what I'm thinking Nintendo wants to do, but of course we won't know until it actually happens. But to bring things back to this rumor that we're talking about on Reset Era from Zippo, I kind of agree. I think a Q2, Q3 release window is possible for this 2D Metroid. I'm thinking it'll be slightly sooner. Definitely after February, because in February we're getting 3D World Deluxe and Bravely Default 2, two decent Nintendo games that they're both being published by Nintendo, and then March is getting Monster Hunter Rise, and I'm actually speculating perhaps like a Skyward Sword HD or something like that. So I am thinking this Metroid game would come out after March. I'm thinking somewhere between April and like June or July, that kind of period right there, the spring or early summer window. I think that makes a lot of sense for a 2D Metroid game. So if it's coming out around then they probably want to announce it at least a couple months in advance. So maybe they announce it either A, at the Game Awards, I think that's a possibility, or B, in an early year Nintendo Direct, be it a partner showcase, a mini direct, or a full-scale direct. I think that's definitely possible, which is why I'm saying 1 to 3 months here. I think they could announce it at the Game Awards, but they also could wait another month or two in January or February when we get an actual Nintendo Direct where Nintendo starts to outline their plans for 2021. Now, some people may bring up that the Game Awards last year was pretty dry when it comes to Nintendo announcements. We just got Bravely Default 2, and then there was also the No More Heroes 3 trailer, but that's not even being published by Nintendo. But one thing I think is worth noting is that it's been kind of a slow year when it comes to announcements and releases for Nintendo. So maybe that's why Game Awards 2019 wasn't very good, because they didn't have that many announcements to make, because the year after it wasn't going to have that many games actually coming out. But 2021 has been widely speculated to be a really big year for Nintendo. So it's going to be a really big year for Nintendo. Perhaps we're going to be getting a few really cool announcements at the Game Awards this year. This year's Game Awards will have a much bigger presence from Nintendo compared to last year, because 2021 is going to be a bigger year in general, so there's a lot more announcements to be made. So maybe this 2D Metroid that could be coming out fairly soon may be announced at the Game Awards. I think that's possible. But of course, there's other things that could be at the Game Awards as well, a Smash DLC character, a Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, perhaps something else altogether. There's a lot of options, so maybe Nintendo saves this Metroid announcement for an earlier Nintendo Direct, also a possibility. But that's just my speculation right now. We don't know what Nintendo's plans actually are for this 2D Metroid, if it's even real. I do think it's real, and I do think it's coming out next year, but it's still rumor right now, so take it with a grain of salt. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, everyone, this is Honest Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.